In Canadian election news, yup, apparently we're still doing that. The Quebec riding of Terrebonne? I give up. After recount, flipped to the Liberal Party of Canada by one vote. One single vote. Thus ensuring that for the rest of our lives, on election day, Canadian mothers across the country who are in close to call ridings will pester their children on election day to vote, reminding them of how that one time a single vote mattered, at least for the winning side. Unfortunately, due to first past the post and the difficulty that Canada's non far right wing parties have with distinguishing themselves from one another, it's we definitely need proportional representation. Still, this puts the Liberals only 2 seats shy of a majority. And to be clear, I'm not necessarily rooting for a majority. In principle, I love a minority government. It does, however, mean that politicians have to put in more work with people from other parties. But I can't tell you the number of times that I've done some of my best work because I had to work with someone else and I was worried that they might not agree with my approach. It really pushed me to do my best. At the same time, I fully expect that the Liberals are eyeing the NDP, Bloc, and Green MPs that they find the least annoying to try and seduce over to Team socially progressive enough, but quite invested in public-private partnerships. By the way, before I end this video, I just want to make one thing clear. Politically, I am further to the left than all of the major Canadian parties, but I am also a disabled gay. So I can understand the perspective of let's burn it all down and start over if it's not perfect, which is a really easy perspective to hold if you feel like you'll be fine even in the worst case scenario. One of the reasons a lot of people who are much further left than the Liberals are still voted for the Liberals is not because we're traitors, it's because we realize that the election system is not perfect, but we don't want the worst result. I will be shocked if the filthy rich in Canada do not get even more filthy rich over the next several years. And I would love for the Liberals to prove me wrong, but I fully expect them to screw up and do a few things that cross certain lines. Again, feel free to prove me wrong, Liberals. But that is why the parties on the actual left need to either clean house or step back and let somebody else with a real vision of being more than a different shade of red actually step into the spotlight. I'm hoping that the Revolution Party of Canada gains a lot of traction over the next few years because I've talked with one of the people in charge there, and he's a smart cookie. Because the absolute best way to keep the Liberals in line is to make sure that they know that there is a viable alternative to them on the left.